As we begin to gather today here for Integration Nation, the second Shenka, the Ganusa. And they're saying just in this moment, just kind of letting the waters flow, letting the waters run until they're clear and clean. I'll be excited to hear your experiences in Ganusa. There we go. Heard. And as we begin, they are asking that you go into your throne, your oust. Okay, fine. Coming into that root and dropping down into your inner earth temple. Claiming this throne of your power here in the below. Taking note of anything in your temple that might need straightening, might need your attention. Have you looked at that ancestor altar in a while down there? They just did this whole flip thing where, like, when you go down, it actually flips up into Dreaming Temple, Higher Temple. And they're saying, like, through the eclipses, it might just flip a little bit. So just practice, see how it feels. See. Those fucking eclipses, huh? They will throw a curveball in all of reality. And I can only laugh at the timing of how well we've been supported here with, here we are, new moon eclipse, moving into Taurus. Cool. And we got together on 420, and we will also get together on May the 4th, where I'm like, really? Like, you guys, this is so good. Just the way that we're being carried. So welcome to the revolution. Welcome to the evolution of you. Let's start today just by kind of talking about your lessons of Ganusa. Last Integration Nation, I started with mine. I'd rather chime in and join you guys rather than leading any fucking thing here at all. So, would you tell me how Ganusa has been? What's come up and what you've learned?
There you go.
Good morning.
So to start with, I know I'm definitely like a day or two behind, but I'm really not worried about it because by the time last Integration Nation, I felt a day behind. The next day, felt right on track. So I feel a day behind. I'm not worried. Talk to me on Sunday. So working with this vessel and the Ganusa, I've taken it on a run, trying to keep it balanced for 4 miles and not spill any of that. Oh, felt so good. A little crazy, but definitely good. I've told Andy about this. I'm not sure I recommend it, but it's a lot of fun. I do initiations upside down. So I'm doing headstands and also, again, balancing that vessel is one so hard, but so rewarding when you do it. And then I'm not having enough time to practice. I don't know what the correct word for this is. But so I'm doing it whenever I can get it in. Yesterday I was walking with Shelby and her sisters in town. So they're walking, they're talking. I don't really need to be participating in the conversation. So I'm a couple feet back, practicing, um, completely underwater. They turned around and start talking to me, and it's like, I'm a scuba diver, so it was just that same whoa, 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 and I'm, oh, I got to come back to reality. Hi guys. So
Mhm.
um, that's been me. Thank you.
Oh, Max, I fucking love it. I will not run 4 miles, but thank you so much for the suggestion.
With some pull-ups in the middle, it goes so good.
Oh, but it's funny because you said like the underwater sound, which is the wah wah wah. The Beck song that I've been playing on repeat. I'm like, why is this a song? But it's the wah 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 wah. So it's exactly that same like little thing in there. I'm like, oh, that's why it's good news for me. So thank you for that. Um, yeah. Anyone else practicing not spilling the water? I know all y'all, and none of you are this fucking quiet. So hello.
Okay, I got you. Uh,
Thanks.
I it's practice I'm practicing flow. Like it's something that I've been talking about for years. Like I want to flow better. I want to flow better. And I feel like this container is like really sorry, I'm like having a hard time lighting this candle, so now I've got like fire everywhere. Um
That's
it's
next week.
yeah, it's really supporting me in my decision, I feel like, to flow. Like, death cycles, all that shit, that's not new to me. Like I've got 6 Scorpio placements. I'm literally death incarnate. Like that's I'm fine with, but it's the something I've been really focusing on is releasing expectations,
Hmm.
like societal expectations, expectations for productivity, expectations I set for myself. And something my therapist said to me a while back was like, I have inhuman expectations for myself, which is like kind of funny, because like I'm a star seed. It's like, well, duh, like I'm not human. I mean, I guess I am right now, but being in this energy, like I've never quit a job like without having another job lined up before. And I'm fortunate because I was able to take a severance package with the separation. But like this, every day I'm being forced to flow in a way because I have this anxiety of like, oh shit, I need to be doing something. Like I need to get up and do something. And like Aries season really put me into my body and like getting more consistent with like physicality. Like I cycle, so like doing that, working out, and
She's doing
I
pretty
got
good,
sick. Like really,
actually.
Hold on.
like immediately got sick.
70.
Dina has entered the room. We're just going to mute that for a second. Love you, Dina. We'll talk soon.
But like I was getting really good on like a routine, you know what I mean? So like the routine was really great. And then we got into the Shenka and like everything kind of exploded and like my routine's gone. Like I got sick, I was floored and like literally forced to just sit and flow. And it's like challenging, right? Because productivity is something that like has been such a big focus in the industry I work in as well. So just like trying to it's like I'm going against those expectations and flowing with what feels good. So like these thoughts will come up. I'm like, oh man, like I really want to go, I want to go work out, but like I haven't been feeling well. So I'm like, no, just listen to your body, flow with it. It's okay. I should be looking for jobs right now. I should be applying for things. No, like what's meant for
How
me
would you
will
do that
come
in a Mercury retrograde with eclipse season? Like, there's
right.
nothing to do right now.
Exactly. So like being in stillness is something that's really hard for me. And it's been forcing me to just do what feels good. And lately, what's been feeling good is just like rest and like gentle movement. And it's helping me cognitively like reprogram like how I'm thinking as well. Cause the anxiety will show up. And then I stop myself. I'm like, no, no, no. You don't have to do anything. You don't
Mhm.
have to go like who the fuck said you have to like
So, can
conform
we
to
add
stuff?
this into it, Gwen? Because you keep talking about flow, but really what I hear you learning is stillness.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's a combination of the two, knowing when to move and knowing when to just sit the fuck down. So it's been really nice. It's different and it's bringing a lot of ease. And that was kind of my intention coming into dream school was like, I'm trying to enter my soft girl era. Like I've been living in my divine masculine for 27 years and I'm ready for some softness and some ease
Mm,
and just fully trusting that what is meant for me will come to me.
always.
And
Hmm.
yeah, so that's been my lesson is just listening to my body, like listening to my spirit, listening to the waters, right? Like where are the tides today? Like how are they moving? And it's been really nice. And I feel really fortunate to have the opportunity even itself just to like play in this energy and not have like the external pressures to like literally go, go,
No, I
go.
think we're all unraveling from that speed of things and that value on reality and self, right? The productivity, the constant productivity. Like it's the only thing that grows that fast and all the time is cancer, right? Like it's not in
Yeah.
balance. It's not good for us.
So yeah,
Congratulations on leaving the job.
thanks.
Fucking rad.
It's lit. It's been great ever since. So I knew I made the right decision. So yeah, it's
Well,
just
and
all
even
the
taking
should.
that leap, like I love that that happened in Ganusa, where you're just like let it all dissolve in some ways.
Yeah, and I have been working with Ubin and Nubit a lot. Like that's just been like the name of the game. And the Samna M. Those two have been like really supportive. Cause you know, like I'm super neurotic. Like I am. Like I love control, you know, like I'm very
Are you though, or are you like rewiring? So like when we
right.
claim the super neurotic, I don't know, maybe I'm
I've been programmed to be this like and this is just like really supporting me to be more like, ah.
one of you.
So yeah. It feels good. I'm fucking with it. So
Love it. So glad you're here.
yeah, me too.
Hmm. I was in some I've been in a lot of mania, I think, since Dream School has started. And for me, mania is not bad. Like, I court it, I love it, I flirt with it, it's like good. And I have to also step back from that to like choose that flow, right? I can stay in the mania and I know that I'll burn myself out, or I'm like, hold on, slow down. And so left some message for Sarah the other day where Sarah's like, clean, clear waters, Andy. And I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
It's
Thank you.
funny you brought that up though, because mania scares the shit out of me. And it's I have been like on the edge of that. And to me, that's from I've been recognizing that as a sign to slow down. When I start feeling this really
Yeah.
high wired energy, that's when I'm like, you need to breathe, you need to ground, and you need to sit. And
Mm.
it's been really balancing it out, which has been nice because mania freaks me
Right,
out.
learning the waters of it, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I think my association with mania has been like, the muse is here. I will pay full fucking heed. Like, whatever you want me to do, spirit, I will do. Let's go. And my experience is like, that's not always here. So when it is, I'm like, get as much done because I'm a spurter in that way with my productivity. If anybody's been on Patreon, you see that. There are times that I'm just like, and other times that it's the flow. It's not the flow for me, it's the current. No, it's the tide, right? I have to pay attention to the tide. Where's the tide at?
Yeah. I'm so glad you're saying this. Things are like really clicking right now for me, like as you say that, because
Welcome to fucking Integration Nation. This is
I
what we
was
do
feeling
here.
so like crazy. And I sat down and just for 2 hours, I was just playing. I was creating on my iPad. I was making sigils and making art. And like, that's what I did. And it felt so nice because I was like, I love that you said that. Okay. I'm going to keep that for later. Thank you. The muse.
Well, and I had a client yesterday who has let the muse be her identity. And now she's getting into some problematic spots with that. So just another interesting angle on it. We still are the fucking authority of us. We sit in the seat of sovereignty. So if the muse comes in, it's when I say and how I say, and knowing what those boundaries are, I think is what I've learned in my aging wisdom. But it feels so good to be in that state where it's just like, I'm pretty fucking productive because that's not my normal.
So what I'm noticing with the Ganusa and the flow and the waters and everything, Ganusa in its cradle shape, it rocks, right? And like emotion is a wave, emotion is the waters. The more you rock your Ganusa, the crazier your waters are going to be, right? That's you're churning your own waters and it's harder to see the stillness. But what came in for me yesterday was like the uptech energy. When you place your Ganusa on your Jed and you get that like strong uptech center of the scales, you're able to just place it in stillness and let the waters come to stillness so that you can see the clarity. Or you can tip it and let it rock and just like see what happens if you need the emotional wave. One of the things that I was playing with was that like what does healthy Ganusa look like? Like what does that energy even look like? And what was coming through was that it's feeling solidly in your expression of emotion, no matter what that emotion is. Like feeling just and rightful that if you're afraid, you have every reason in that moment to be afraid. If you're happy, then you have every reason in that moment to be happy. And healthy Ganusa energy, you feel allowed to express that properly, whether it's in the churning or whether it's in the stillness.
Fuck yeah, lady. Thank you. And yeah, as soon as you like put it on the jet, I'm like, oh yeah, it is. That is the intention, is that it is still there. Thank you. And it can only rock. I'll tell you the other thing that pinged for me last week in watching that William Henry. I don't know time. What? There is the Ganusa is also the boat that takes one to the other side. So if you think of any of the Egyptian stuff, there's the boat. And I saw the boat that takes the soul to the afterlife. And I was like, holy fuck, it's the Ganusa. Of course it is. So when my waters have been very turbulent, instead of being the Ganusa or trying to calm it, I climb in the boat and I let the boat move me through. And that's been just kind of a fun practice of, I can't, because I've certainly, as you probably have been, we're in uncharted waters. We are experiencing things in the world we've never experienced personally, professionally, emotionally. There's so much that seems to be shifting and changing. And I'm like, rather than me trying to like hold it all, I'm just going to get in the fucking boat and let it move me somewhere. Emotions are energy in motion. Yes. Nadia will talk about that quite a bit. I don't know Feel Good that much, but the healthy Ganusa. Yeah, even saying it that way, Ashley, and like, holy shit, like, yeah, what is it when it's healthy and what is it when it's unhealthy? And can we learn both expressions of it so that we have greater mastery? Thank you for that.
Hi guys, from rainy Seattle. It's finally sunny, so I'm like an abundance of water over here. It's just always raining, always wet. And I've got this Berkey filter where I put the tap water in the top, filter out the unwanteds, and I get, good clean drinking water. And I'm anxious, squirrely around the house too. So I turn, I'm doing some dishes or putting a thing here and there. And all of a sudden I hear the drip, 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 like I'm filling my tea vessel with the clear water to make some tea. And I'm like, oh crap, it's overflowing. So I didn't think I was coming today with a whole lot, of notes or major shares, but there it all of a sudden is in my reality happening,
Leaky
just
water.
with just I'm like, oh crap, I gotta, got overflowing vessel here, good clear water. But so that's, like I say in real life, my dreams have been just trying to tie together a few recent dreams, mud flows, like, and I knew I was in Egypt and there was a mud flow and I'm making tracks out. Another night, a dream was lava erupting. Ooh. And I knew I was safe and I had the safe passage out of that situation. And I'm just wondering, it's not water per se, but the flowing of these muds or lavas, but not concerned. I was actually helping people achieve, some safety in that aspect. And I just kind of just kicking these cool dreams around that I'm having, and not really identifying who these people are per se, but just shepherding some sort of safety, even amongst what seems like, earthy or or, elemental flows. So that's kind of cool. Take that as you like.
I want to ping off of this because this is what I was curious about too. Like, do you recognize the quality of water different in each of your Ganusas? Because as you were saying, like lava is one of them, and this mud is one of them, and water is one of them. So I think I've also been intending, I don't know if I've gotten there, intending to like pay attention to like what each of the Ganusas is filled with, because it's not always up there, it's not water for me. Huh.
That's cool.
I know. So as you say lava, I'm like, ooh, do I have a
I was
Ganusa that's
surprised. I
filled with
mean, I was
lava?
so vibrant. I'm like, what,
Mm.
and that this stream was at, home in Breckenridge. I knew where I was located in that dream. And I'm like, this should not be happening here, but I see the lava. And I invited, my son. I'm like, can you see there's, this lava? You have to stand here. You can see it. It's coming. It's interesting. So
Hmm.
I don't know, just weird flows of different things, and then water.
Water. Yeah, the water dripping and
I clean it up. It's an easy cleanup, but I'm like, what the heck? More than once, yeah. I'm just like, come on.
oh, that's good.
What was that Beck song? Can you type
Oh,
that in?
yeah,
So
sure.
add that to
Yeah, I'll put it
a
into my.
rotation. Thanks.
Yep.
Otherwise, the ancestor altar has been a great tether. Well, you kind of say putting your boat in in the water, it's imaginary, or whether it's a hard tether to that, so that no matter where it goes or how those crests and falls go, you've got that anchor or tether to the center.
That's so good. Yeah, I haven't paid attention to my ancestor altar at all down there until they were in there today, and they're like, "Oh yeah." And so I share that too, just because, we won't always do the practices. We won't always do them well. We won't always do them with consistency, and that's okay. So no one gets to be rough on themselves whenever we're like, "Oh my God, I totally forgot to like do a dream protocol." Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I props Max on those inversions. Like I've been doing some headstands too. We just installed a pull-up bar, so my son and husband are working on their pull-up. Like we're just doing the physical aspect of, what is my next mini goal, or how, what can we try to achieve. So
How long is
that's
your
a cool
hubby
piece.
there? It feels like you guys are supposed to be gone soon.
I know he's trying to separate, so it's just a drawn out process of that, but we don't know. Time is unknown, but
Isn't it
there's
though?
some. Took us a year to import, and we've been here for about a year, so for all we know, it'll be another year out. Who knows?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, kind of riding that, like I'm in a good place, and it's all okay, and we're here for some reasons, and we're gonna just take this whole adventure with us on the next
Yeah, it's
phase.
Seattle. Like it's not a terrible place to be.
No, yeah. The military aspect is hardcore,
Oh,
masculine energies, and a lot of dogma that goes with that. And neither he nor I really subscribe to it, so we're just sort of outcasty in a way. It's just interesting.
yeah,
But
not a
getting
place
this
where you get to be sovereign.
this
There in
inner
the military.
perspective, yeah, right. Like we don't, yeah, we right. You sign a contract, you belong to that. So it's pretty surreal on
Mm.
that aspect. So I feel like I'm helping him, stay soft through the hardships on that. And we're a good team.
It's beautiful. And a good counterbalance to
Mm.
Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
Breckenridge, snowy.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really.
Hmm. Um, I will bring up today, because one of the lessons of Ganusa sometimes is this othering energy that happens. I censored Ashleen when she put up a post, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So like, I watched myself like delete her comment because I thought it might hurt someone's feelings in here. I tried to message Ashleen, and I was like all stumbling over myself, and then I called Ashleen, and I'm like, So I'm owning this publicly, and apologizing to Ashleen as well, because like it was a good lesson for me, but like my reaction was immediate and I deleted it. And then I was like, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't have. So I would love to have conversations about, I want this to be a safe place, right? But I also don't want fucking censorship. Like, I'm not Facebook. What the fuck was that? So thanks for the lesson, Ashleen. Because you shared something valuable, which was, our birth experience, which is so much of this Ganusa energy as well. And that birth experience we all have our own story of it. And so Ashleen was, I don't know that we need to talk about it, but I think I just want to honor and publicly apologize for like, what the fuck was that? And would the other person have hurt feelings? I don't know, but like in my mama energy, that's what I did. So I'm sorry. The other sense of othering that I had during this Ganusa is I had the imposter on Instagram as well. And so it was like that other thing of like, whoa, there is, my waters were not still with that. I felt very, I don't know if it was disempowered. I felt very violated because I didn't know how to get a grip on it. And I don't know how to address it. And I think for me, and it's the same thing with the censorship incident, like unsafe. So Ganusa shows me that at times where I feel unsafe. And it allows lots of rich healing for fucking traumas. But anybody else have unsafe show up? Am I the only one who gets to do that? Cool.
I think unsafe can be everywhere. There are trips and pitfalls in all directions. So you're not alone in that. I don't know that I'm personally experiencing that, but I'm seeing it.
Mm.
Yeah.
In the unsafe, what I keep doing is I keep like surrendering. So the language and the words have been so specific, and I'll just share it with you guys because I think it is a dream school. It's certainly a dream school message. It might be this dream school mission. They're asking me to go underneath reality and outside of reality to create. And so they've been very specific with that language and those words. So whenever I am feeling unsafe, instead of like trying to do anything at all, I drop down into the void waters. Those void waters I have found to be rich and joy. Like it's currents of joy that are down there. It's thank you. It's not a joy of expression. It's a joy of like, I'm held down there. I am held in that void space in a way that I am maybe within my inner temple, certainly not in this world, but I'm learning. Probably held up there. I think up there, like I don't even need to be held. Like we surpass it, right? I'm like, I don't need to be held up there. Why would that be helpful or necessary?
I don't think I even touched Ganusa in that way because I was like trapped in a force field of unsafe. Just in like, and not that I ever really felt unsafe, but I was noticing all of the places where I act because I feel unsafe. Like even just like little things in my relationship with my partner, which I do not feel unsafe. So that's not what I'm saying. But there's just, little things where I notice I'm not showing my full expression of myself because of things that he said, 7 years ago. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was noticing that I was like kind of lamenting that I hadn't gotten like super deep with Ganusa. And then I realized that I was kind of trapped in not trapped. I was just exploring this force field around Ganusa before I could even get inside of there, like examining what human emotions even are and like where I'm even at with human emotions. Sorry, my daughter wants to say hi. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi. They can hear you. Do you want to say hello?
Hi.
That it? All right. But anyway, my Ganusa
Product of your Ganusa right there, Ashley.
Right here. Yeah. My other one's over here. yeah, it was weird, like even touching Ganusa. It kind of took me a while to be like, okay, have I even gotten there yet?
In my censoring you, did it make you feel unsafe?
No.
Cool.
No, because like I mean, like I told you, when I wrote it, I got the feeling that maybe I shouldn't post this because it might hurt somebody's feelings. So I literally got that psychic connection that I don't know triggered you, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't post it. And then at the end of when I finally decided, I was like, you know what? We're all, I'm not responsible for someone else's reaction to what I post. What I have to say is valid, and then I just posted it. So it was just kind of funny how it all like tangled up in this little thing. But no, it did not make me feel unsafe. And I
think that was
very grateful that you called me.
Yeah, no, I called you right away because I was stumbling all over my fucking self. And yeah, I think just as we talked today, like that was, as we talk, I'm like, oh God, did I cause you to feel unsafe in that? So
No.
grateful. Thank you. Yeah, because that censoring thing, it silences people, and it's not something I want to engage in here. To express it all, please. What other lessons have you guys had of Ganusa? I know mine. Yeah, Sarah, you don't get to be the quiet this long. It's weird.
I gateway of the listener.
I know you're practicing that, and yet I miss your voice. Oh, and Dina, hi! We haven't gotten to see Dina here in a while with that beautiful blue. Yay.
Ganusa, I would say the new Ganusa that's been coming in is creativity in beautiful ways that I haven't played in a really long time. And in that washing forward, I am seeing places where, like, if you think about a shipwreck, I texted to Marilyn earlier today. It's like a shipwreck inside of my womb. And so then like there's these places that are like, ooh, this is Swiss Family Robinson. We're gonna like build a treehouse. This is awesome. And then there's like the obvious wreckage parts. And Ganusa this time is really like sifting through like what is creative and what is no longer needed here. It is at times felt like tidal waves. That I haven't been expecting, but then at the same time, because I know how to sit and find my breath, I can sit in the rocking of that boat, which I'm extremely seasick. So stillness is like, let's do this. I have to remind myself on the flip of that to allow a little rock sometimes for movement to happen and to not get stagnant.
Oh.
So it's the balance also for me in finding both. But emotionally, I have felt able to recognize and clear things a lot quicker. When something bubbles up to the surface, I'm like, oh, I see you. Hi, let's cry about it. And then I move on. So I'm loving that energy, the assuredness of abundance and prosperity that is starting to pan out. It's pretty beautiful. So
was it you? I don't remember if it was you or Marilyn who was recognizing like abundance is in this sacral Shenka. The flow, the currency. This is certainly here. So yeah, I watched my own watched my own old stories come up. I'm like, am I not done with this story yet? Like, come the fuck on. And then truly like the next day it all shifted and I was like, oh, okay, got it now.
it, of course, like traditionally, for me, Ganusa brings up a lot of my relationship traumas and pain. So sitting through it this time with a more mature perspective and being able to meet myself in each of those woundings with fresh water is healing a lot of deep wounds inside. I'm loving what we're doing here. And at times, like, yeah, I'm nervous. I left my fishbowl yesterday and was surrounded by people for about 8 hours. And I'm like, oh gosh, I got to get back to my own water. Like, that was too much. But yeah, it's been good.
And thank you for your guidance the other day, because yeah, clear waters in my Ganusa, never even fucking thought it like. That
Yeah.
was a completely novel concept to me that they should be running clear.
And restoring. We are restoring by like rewiring or like telling the story in a new way.
Okay.
Water has memory, right? So our waters know.
Water
But
can also dissolve things or dilute them. So if we're feeling those things and meeting them, we can allow it to temper.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And drink more water. I'm sending love.
We got on Liquid IV over here, and they had a cotton candy flavor one where I'm like, ooh, don't like if you want more hydration, like just skip the cotton candy flavor. I don't know who it was made for, but no. I know that a lot of you are not having my experiences of Ganusa. Any others that want to come on? Oh, there's a Marilyn. No? You want to unmute? Okay. Or not. No, just... I know, I liked seeing you outside. I was celebrating that as you got on earlier, but it did not seem to want to play along now, did it? Yeah, Dina, come on, girl. You want me to unmute you so that you don't... Because you're driving? Oh, you got it. Okay, good.
I got it. Thank you, though. Are you guys, how's everybody doing? Good? So good to see your faces. This watery Ganusha, man, I am so emotional. And the water that I was seeing as the movement and, you know, flowing back and forth, I was seeing it like sea glass or the sand, how those, how the water flows over an object over and over, and it, you know, it softens things and breaks things up. I was definitely feeling that. I've been so emotional, and also with the root, I wanted to move. Like, I could not stop moving. I had to do like yoga and hike every day. With this, I'm like, be still, be still, be still. Don't tread the water. Don't stir the waters. I was feeling a little protective of the waters not getting out of control. When we did this a year ago, my brother died during this particular Shenka, and I had a really good friend whose last name's brother died 2 days ago during this Shenka, and that's emotional. You know, human emotions are really weird. But I feel like the Buddha standing on top of myself or above myself and watching the hardness liquefy through tears and pour out and soften. And so it's sort of a unique place to embrace the emotions too. Sometimes emotions feel out of control for me. I haven't in the past liked to embrace emotions too much, but I do understand the importance of, and I'm starting to as I get a little more mature, the importance of allowing those tears to flow and to cleanse and purify. So this has been an emotional work. So I embrace that, and I know I'm looking forward to, it just feels good to get everything lined up too and get in proper place, and I can feel the shifting happening. And I also feel really safe with all of us being here together and doing this together. It gives me a little courage to to dive in deeper. Plus, I got a lot of Aries in my chart, so I do dive in pretty well. But I'm like, I got the support of friends. We're just gonna go in here and get this done. So I feel you, and I thank you, and I appreciate you. It feels. I said something to Andy this week. It feels like we are a lost tribe that has come together, and that feels really good because I feel like it's not. We've been through some lifetimes together, and we are a soul tribe. It feels nice to plow ahead together with you all. So thank you for being present, and doing the work and holding all of us accountable to do the work. So good job, everybody. Thank you.
How are you doing with the passing of your friend, Dina?
I'm good. I am. I'm doing good. Brain wants to figure things out, and I'm really jealous he got to leave, and he also didn't suffer very long. He was diagnosed with cancer on his birthday, which was March 25th, and
wow.
yeah, and he died 2 days ago. He lived a month after his diagnosis.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing, and
I think that's how I want to do it. I've told McKenna that. I'm like, yeah. I don't want to know. And if I do know, I'm not going to tell anybody because like living with the stress of it feels like a lot. So just like 1 month and gone, I'm like, that's a sweet spot right there. So he did it. He died well, Dina.
He did. I know. We've had some interesting, past life connection of some sort. And, now that he's gone, I feel like he can tell me what that past life is. So I've been asking, and I'm like, let's talk a little bit now. Like, what was our connection?
Cool.
So I'm going to get some answers, and that to me feels sort of fun too. And I'm enjoying his presence being around.
I heard open up your Akashic records.
Okay.
And then he can kind of like come in and like add to it.
Ooh. Okay.
Huh. And yeah, Dina, I love you. And it's just, I love seeing you on here because I know your day was very busy with clients. So thanks for creating a little window to be with us.
Sorry, I came on talking to my client.
It was cute.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was like, oh shit.
Oh. Luckily I had a handle on what was happening. I got it covered. And
thank
cute.
You. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you. I'm headed to my next time, as you can tell, so I'll be out there in a little bit, but I really wanted to pop on and connect. I can't wait to watch the recording.
Love you. Anybody else have actual death going on?
So lost my best friend 15 years ago last week.
Wow.
Yeah, and some years I remember and some years I don't. 15 was a big one. Dude was only 20. And just to be so young. And I didn't know he's always been following me around. He's been real upset lately. But now he's got a spot on the ancestor altar, and he's so much happier. It's really calmed down. Yeah. So.
What's his name?
Benjamin. Yeah. And then it wasn't just me. Some of my young friends who I haven't talked to in, a decade plus, you lose contact with, junior high people, all kind of remembered him. And a couple of them came across his funeral program. And you don't keep something like that out and open. So it was wanting to be found. So yeah, I'm glad he has a spot now, at least. So thanks.
Thanks for giving him a place to cross the waters, Max. Because if he's angry, that means he's not on the other side. Like, Spirit's not going to be angry with you. They're beyond that. So you gave him a way to get home. Thanks. And welcome to the shamanic initiation that is your new reality. May it not always be so fucking personal.
Yeah. Do we want to transition to something a little happier?
Maybe. I want to see if anybody else has any other death because I saw some emotions going on for Gwen down there, and I'm going to read. Gwen, you okay down there, girl?
Yeah, my mom passed away in January. So
Did it come
that
up
was
in
really hard.
this one for you?
It's girl, it's coming up every day. And I actually like she didn't live near me, but I have to go to where she lived next week to start the probate process to like close so I can like have legal authority to like handle her business and close her accounts. And it's kind of hard because my mom, I'm not going to get into it, but like she did not leave a lot here, but it was expected, but we still don't know why or like how. I got a little bit of closure in like a session with Jamie. She came through, but yeah, it's something that comes up every day. And she's always here. So
I'm sorry, babe.
it's okay.
No, it's not. We can't fucking say that whenever we're in pain. Like, it's okay. It's not the right fucking answer anymore.
Well, it is.
It is. Oh,
It is.
It is. And what an interesting, in these waters of Ganusa, in this place of birth and rebirth and death, to be able to hang out with her.
And it's really different. It's really nice. She was not healthy in a lot of ways when she was here, and had a really hard time on Earth. But getting to explore this part of our relationship has been really nice. She's I've been like really resistant towards mediumship, and she feels like the one that's gonna help me with that. So
Why resistant toward mediumship?
I'm just jumpy. That's really it. I don't like I don't
Frighten
want to
you?
like what?
Does it frighten you?
Yeah, there's a little bit of fear. And the first few times I practiced it, I don't see, a lot. I'm very like cognizant and sentient. And I like felt like I felt how they died. And one was very violent. And the other, it wasn't the death, but the grief that followed because it was unexpected. And how like heavy they felt on that side leaving everybody. So it's just I've had a lot of heaviness already, like myself. So it's kind of just the fear of one them showing up. Like I don't want it to be, I want it to be on my terms. So, I don't want the door to be open 24
Yeah,
7.
no, you'll learn that as medium. It's got to be like you in the seat.
So, but yeah, she feels, I feel like it was karmic, her passing. And I think I don't hold guilt. This isn't like I know this was me, but like I know that when I got to the place that I did with our relationship, it kind of released whatever it was that was keeping her here. That makes sense. So her passing was super karmic. And I know that. So I'm just accepting and having gratitude for the way our relationship is developing now that she's passed on. So
And when we have someone close to us, especially in family past, they can take a whole lot of shit with them. They can take out a whole lot of karma when they go. So I always feel like when they're leaving, like, ask, please, please, like,
yeah.
this for us. I can't clean it all up. Please take it with you.
Yeah.
Wendy, I see some stuff going on down there for you, girl. How you doing?
I was doing really well, and the last day, it's kicking my butt. It really is. One thing that's really come up for me. Sorry.
You never apologize for tears, especially not here.
yeah, one thing that's come up for me is when I was 21, I had an abortion, and I realised that I'm holding on to a load of guilt from that. Me and my fiance, we've been trying for a baby now for over a year, and I think in some way I've realised I've been blocking it because I feel like I don't deserve that, because I got rid of one before, so I don't deserve one. So that's been coming up today in particular, because I had a migraine in the background for the week, and then today in particular, like, I just feel like I can't move. My whole body is just, my nervous system has gone into haywire. I went back over the initiation again today, and I just tried to tell myself I forgive myself. And that really, that's kind of hard to hear.
The forgiving of self is hard to hear.
Yeah, I think it just brought up a lot of emotion that I didn't realize was there. A lot of guilt that I didn't realize was still there, and that I need to forgive myself for that.
I always feel I had 2 abortions, and I felt like they were life-saving for me.
Mm.
Those choices were not easy choices, but they would have just, like, should that have gone all the way through, it would have destroyed me. So I don't offer my experience here. I just offer a different perspective, which is whatever place you were in. It wasn't right, or else it would have. And I can also tell you from spirit and years of practicing in this way, there ain't no fucking truth to, like, you don't deserve one because you got rid of one. Like, that is not how this game works, sis. So thank you for letting us hold you while you learn to hold yourself. Because it felt like you and Max were kind of like bopping around, like, everything's great, everything's good, everything's so I'm sorry that this now came in and, like, whoosh. Welcome to Dream School. Welcome to Real, where we get to have the safety to experience what hasn't been safe enough to come up before. Is there anything that you need?
I don't know. I'm in the I'm in the what the fuck moment now, where I was like riding waves. Right now I'm just yeah, I don't know. I think it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just, pain today. So I've got my whole body. I've got a fever. I feel rough today, and I think it's just all of that coming out. And I don't know if that's all of it.
Yamaya would be a good one
yeah.
to sit with too. You obviously have a connection to her. If you'd like, later I'll sing you her song. She gave me a song. There's no, like, it's bathing in the waters of forgiveness and really, like, getting there in different ways. And it's detoxing, so your entire body is letting go of something that you've held on to for longer than you ever needed to. And let's just do a little bit of a healing. Hold on, they want one. Oh, I know, that's cute. They're like, yeah, you have the instruments that you need right there. We're just going to do a blessing. Those that have been lost to us and those that have been lost due to our choices. And we thank Wendy for this opportunity to allow a collective healing. Oh, thanks. And we're gonna well, Gwen's mother, so the mothers and the children and the friends, the lovers and the brothers. So you clear it through your body, through your Ganusa. Feeling whatever needs to be felt as a gift. Oh, hello, as we drop in forgiveness. Aminu Mahakaru. There's a perfect pearl dropped into this Ganusa. Aminu Mahakaru. Aminu Mahakaru. Aminu Mahakaru. Aminu Mahakaru. Aminu Mahakaru. The grief. Such a good teacher. And it's such a uniquely human experience, grief. So celebrate when it rises up with each of those tears of Isis, the Mermanah. So Ucha Mermanah. Before we move on to other things, is there any other grief or loss that wants to be held or acknowledged here? I'm going to read Destiny's then.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I don't have any grief or loss, but I did pull a card while we were doing that healing, and it was bushfires and fury. So I think sacred rage just wants to come up and be talked about, and just don't forget, like in the depths of your grief, sometimes you find anger down there, and so don't be afraid of that either.
I'm going to read some messages here that have been coming up in the chat because Marilyn, I know, doesn't have a microphone today. So anyone who can read this, thank you. Look at us reading it. This week was full of stillness and full of surrender in the good news, so it's really supported. Yeah. And grateful to be in that stillness and surrender. I had something written down about surrender. I'll see if I can find it, but I wanted to read Destiny's message as well. Destiny, if your family can hear us and you don't want them to, this would be a good time to mute us for just a minute, please. Feelings of feeling unworthy to be here and a human body and deal. With shame around my existence. So Destiny, we hold you and we see you. Shame and grief, I think, are one of those very uniquely human things. I don't know any other races that do shame. And Destiny, I would love for you to expand on this, if it's now or if it's over on Mighty Networks. Sergeant Michaels. Destiny continues. Also shame around an experience of going to North Carolina, and immediately my body told me to leave. Both partner and daughter were let down by this. Went out with friends last weekend and mini bottle of agua in my purse, and the bouncer, when checking my bag, was like, "What is this?" Blessed shaman water. And it's funny because we did start with that blessed shaman water today of Agua Florida. And isn't it funny? Because even in that, Agua, we're right there with the water, right there with the waters, right there with the waters. And Ashleen, thank you for showing us how to eat. That's great. Michael Maddie, it looks like you're not home. Welcome to somewhere else.
I'm in Central Park.
How's
I
it
just
feel?
came into the city for tonight. So I had lunch with some friends, and now I'm gonna go meet up with another friend and stay. I haven't been dealing with, so I've been dealing with the other side of grief and loss, which is I started like doing will paperwork and stuff this week, and like getting a handicap license for my parents' car and some kind of practical stuff. So even though I haven't dealt with loss, it's sort of been present with me the past week.
You're
Especially
pre-grieving.
yeah, right. My dad's having a procedure this week on Wednesday. But the big surgery is going to be in June sometime probably. But yeah, a group in Connecticut, we had a big cord cutting ceremony last night, which was kind of nice. There was a fire. We all wrote things down on paper and burned them and supported each other. I don't know if you guys talked about this, but today's the eclipse.
I would love for you to talk about it. All I said was that.
Okay, so we have two things today. Venus and Jupiter are conjunct today, which is a really good thing in terms of adding support. So that for me, that's really helpful, just in case the eclipses. They always cause chaos, but it's always to bring you more into alignment. So with Venus and Jupiter, hopefully it'll be a more abundant, lucky kind of coming into alignment. That's what I hope for all of us.
My sense always
But
with the eclipses is like we enter in one side and it goes like kaleidoscopic rock tumblers, how I feel it, and then we come out on the other side and like the entire lens and everything is like shifted like a kaleidoscope. And I'm like, oh.
For me, I mean, this one's in Taurus, so my relationship with material things has changed. Like even like my husband bought some furniture and it arrived this week, so like my desk got an upgrade. Like my surroundings have gotten nicer. I had some earrings come in that I'm excited about. So even though there's been this heaviness, there's also been some creature comforts. And kind of what Destiny was saying, there's been some shame stuff around my business stuff. There's been a shift in energy, which feels good. But it's been more about releasing the old story and calling in more like success and abundance. Just feeling like let me see if I've been trying to come up with how to say this, but like it's almost like the worthiness to be my own employee. Like that my business is worth my time and energy. And that's just such a different model. And it's feeling very Ganusa related, like clearing those waters out, releasing all that corporate bullshit, all of that stuff. Yeah, and just really feeling like I'm worth my own investment. Something like that.
I'm going to share one thing. I was having drinks with Nicole BZ last night, who is extension of our community. And she was telling me she read this book, and I don't remember if it's like I Love Money and Money Loves Me, but something like that, which I thought was very funny. And she said, we never say with a business like what I need. She's like, because all the universe hears is need. And instead it's like I earn. My business earns this much. And I was like, oh, that is a different shift, isn't it? Because I think I've always put out there, like, here's what I need in order to like be safe and do me. No, they just hear the need.
Yeah, I talked to my lawyer about green card stuff, which was a really scary conversation I didn't want to have. So that got taken care of. And now I'm about to encounter an opportunity to practice what you just said, because by the time I have my green card interview, which will probably be like more than a year from now, but still, I have to prove that I'm making enough money by that time, like that my business is successful. So I'm going to be really careful not to put that need into that.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's good. So I thank you for that.
Thank BZ for
It
that.
feels, yeah, like what Dina was saying, like the fact that we did this, some of us anyway, did this a year ago, and
year and a half,
so it's
actually. Like it's
a
even
year and a half.
crazier, right? It was 18 months ago that we
time. But yeah, just noticing like I have more spiritual support, and I don't know if that's because my clairsentience is coming online a little bit differently, especially this Ganusa stuff has been helping with that. Just having emotion. You were talking about like the boat, like that cradle being the dot. So I've kind of played with it as like being the water and then being in the boat. And that's helped I'm always going to bring it back to human design, right? That's helped with me being an emotional authority, like being in the boat and feeling the waves. So that's been kind of cool too.
Yeah, that boat one was a game changer for me too, because it wasn't like I just have to hold this. It's like I can be held in here too.
Yeah. And it's okay to feel that motion.
I love the motion.
Yeah. I'm just glad I was able to be here.
Oh, yeah. As soon as you got on, I was like, oh, yeah. And I feel that way about all you guys. So let's not make it specific. But sweet little Angie, who's also here with us, I think it's seeing you all and feeling you all. I want to do one activation, and then we're going to talk a little bit more for whoever wants to. And Angie, you can always just stay in silence, but fuck, lady, I love the sound of your voice. Love
I'll share. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I'm such an airy girl, and so Water and I have been making friends in a very different sacred way, like blessing my water. I'm almost like programming it, like doing all these things, and it's bringing up all of this sacredness and this ancient wisdom. And I'm feeling like there's ancient wisdom from the earth, and then all this cosmic star energy coming in, and it's just like meeting right in the middle of my Ganusa. It's just like sitting there.
Love you, Gwen.
And the other thing is, I think Marilyn brought the stillness, but I feel that too in a way of acknowledging emotions that come up and saying, oh, yeah, okay, human emotion, great. I love you, and I'm okay with it. Like just making peace within that stillness. So it's been beautiful. Yeah.
And not judging the emotions, because like it's, I think in that water for me, like it's a wave, like whatever it is that I'm feeling, like if it's the shame or the intensity or the like, it doesn't last.
Right.
The tide goes away at some point. It doesn't always stay heightened for me, for any of us. And Angie left me a message yesterday that was so good because you called it the ancient waters. And I was like, there's the word. Like, it does hold the memory, and it does, like, they're ancient. Let's do an activation. This one is the Between the Elements activation that we'll do each time, where we move from one Shenka to the other, and instead of just building them, we know how to move between them. And then I have one more thing that I want to talk. Well, yeah. Thanks. Anyone who needs to go, you're more than welcome, but go after this. They're saying for this one today, be in present state of self, not in the above or below temples. I know, they keep saying this too, like there's something in this three, like the trifurcation they keep talking about, like the three we create with the three. Heard, stop. Ooh. Thanks. But set that Jed for yourself. Ooh, hey. Let's get that Jed activated a little bit, just like stirring those waters under. Stirring that blue bulb. Ha. And consciously coming in to set or experience the setness of your cube. Sound of da, 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 da. And just placing upon it the Ganusa. Paying attention to the quality of the water. And we're going to go back down into the root. And I want you to notice how you move from root up to the waters. As we begin to sing, Ganusa mesa sahu starimba Ganusa, 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 Ganusa mesa sahu starimba Ganusa. Oh, and from that Ganusa, you might look up and recognize what comes next. Oh, how interesting. Good, and that's enough of that for today. So we officially put the Ganusa to rest, allowing you to rest until Wednesday. If you're watching this at any other time, do give yourself a couple of days in between initiations. Don't just jump right into another one, please. But it's cute because Marilyn dropped in this idea. I know, Marilyn, I wish your mic was working. But as we were just in the Jed right now, like I could look up and see all of the other stacked on top of it, like a clear... like I can see the architecture of reality. I can see the hologram of myself. It's activating more these days, like as an Akashic field, yes. But I keep seeing like, it almost looks like clear Legos is the best way that I can say it. Like I can see a different, and not, again, I'm not a visual psychic, but like there's a different texture now to how reality is being put together. And so I kind of want you to imagine like you are this clear skyscraper as we're building up. And so each time you'll have a perspective of self, a lens, that temple of Aust, that temple of Ganusa. And each time we not only set the vessel, but we create the temple through which we get to inhabit. So there's two other things that I want to chat about today. Not important, but like ping, 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 ping. Because this sexual energy, hello, Ganusa? Hello? Oh my God, what is happening? For me, it's been coming up with a lot of Magdalene. I know I've talked to a couple of you where there's a ton of scene memories that are coming in, Magdalene memories that are coming in. There is, so I want to just acknowledge that I think as a soul group, some of that is coming online for us. If the Essene lifetime makes sense to you, if you feel like you were there at the time of Jesus's, big party, cool. There's certainly those of us in this group that were. So I don't need this to go Christian in any way. I don't want to traumatize anyone in that way, but I want to acknowledge we have been called together and there is something that is being asked and that is rising up. So if you're part of that, cool, just let us know. And if we need to have a little sidebar about it, we can. I don't want it to be the focus of Dream School, but I know of at least 7 of us who are having this go the fuck on. So anyone want to share? Sarah, you just gonna sit over there and giggle? I mean, you can be the listener, but you can also be the talker.
I mean, I already told you guys about how Jesus and I are in love. I mean, and this whole boat concept, like that you're talking about over and over again, makes me think about the parable of Jesus standing in the boat with the water.
I don't know that one.
You don't? Oh, so he's preaching from the boat and away from the shore, and the water is very choppy. There's a storm coming in, and we can share, Angie. There's more than enough, my Jesus, to go around. But yeah, so he stands in the boat, and the disciples are freaked out, and he tells the waters to be still. And the word that he uses is Rapha. Rapha means actually healing in other applications, like when you chase the Hebrew back in different parts of the Bible, it is stillness. So peace be still, allow your waters to be still. Jesus, come on, boy. I told Michael and Andy this, but I had a man DM me. Okay, so this is new energy for me. I don't know what to do with it, but told me that I came to him in a dream and that he is to come to my well. Right? Great. How about this time zone, this zip code? Let's try that. Ganusa, can we dial it in just a little bit? But thanks for echolocating that to the other side of the planet. I'm glad that I've been blessing my water for a while now, finally reached India. So I need to bring it on back.
You're being heard though.
I am being heard, but from the wrong side of the globe. Well, no, from the absolute correct placement where my water is supposed to go. Because when I bless this water, I send it out and it's universal. So whoever gets the message is meant to have that message. It's just when I receive those echoes back, what am I going to do with it? I don't know.
Hey, Dina, are you able to talk? And if not, can I share your new mantra that's so fucking good? I think Dina's working now, but I'm still going to ask and not overshare anything because... Oh, look at you. Hi.
Hey, I'm at my client's house, so she won't mind me sharing. I told her, I'm like, hang on a second, they're saying my name. So the mantra, you ready? I am a goddamn goddess and my holy nectar flows. That's just what kept coming. I'm like, I am a goddamn goddess and my holy nectar flows.
Try masturbating to that, y'all.
That's exactly right. All right, I'm out of here. I'm not going to say that out loud here, but I could. This is my friend.
Oh, hi.
Thanks for letting us borrow, Dina.
Love you.
Love you too. I am a goddamn goddess and my holy nectar flows.
I will say I've been using my dildo.
Holy nectar!
Because it seemed appropriate. Because my husband's been really depressed, so I was like, I don't necessarily need his participation. And I was reading in my Drunvalo book that there's this when you have an orgasm, if you let it go up, you can push it through the ankh and it comes back to you. So I've been but I haven't quite figured that out yet, but just throwing that in there for you guys.
You can loop.
Because normally you have to loop it back, because otherwise it goes off and you lose it.
And that's when you start pushing pearls out your pussy.
Exactly.
It's so good. I think
I just learned that you can do that when you're sun gazing too. I learned that exact thing when you're bringing in light consciousness. You loop it around your system and it activates things differently.
Well, and recycling our own energy, right? Instead of just sending it out, like feed ourselves, nourish ourselves, restore our own waters.
And I've been trying to, no, let me rephrase. I've been working with my light body more, just from doing my reading. I still haven't, Andy and I talked about this, Drunvalo's light body meditation. I started to read it and it's so detailed and like, it's so masculine. Like, it's like you'd have to study it and memorize it for like a month. So I haven't quite gone there yet, but I just using the visuals and the breath, the Ong Sa breath. And it was related to the Ganusa because when I worked with the Ganusa before, it was always very dark. Like, just it was dark. I mean, working with black waters, right? Working with the light body, it's almost like there's a glow in there now.
Ooh, shining.
It's been different, and that's how I've been able to see the waters as more clear. Yeah. So that's been really cool.
I'll share, because one of the first, in this round of Dream School, one of the first things that started coming through from a lesson of Ganusa was what I was calling like the glamour magic, which they'll talk about in some communities is like project who you are into your field. And like tell the universe. So like, I have moments where I'm like, I feel, hello, insecure, horribly unattractive. And they're like, you don't fucking leave the house that way. Like, put on your fucking glamour. Remind yourself who you are. And last weekend, as I was doing the William Henry, they're like, this is the same thing. Like, this is the light body. You tell the world who you are instead of the world telling you who you are. And so I've been in a very, I've probably been doing this for about a week now of like, I won't leave the house. And I start every day of like turning on that light body and like, I am a goddamn goddess and my holy nectar flows, right? Instead of like waiting to be judged or waiting to like, for the things that my insecurity plays with. I'm like, and Tony Robbins will talk about this of like self-created. Tony Robbins created fucking Tony Robbins. Great. I can create Andy Murphy. Oh. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. So I invite you maybe just to practice that, because somehow that was, it's a Ganusa teaching. I don't know if I can articulate how. Like activate it. I'm getting that breath going and just like putting it into my field, who I want to be and what I am. On the 2-2 portal, I was practicing some of this, so it's just continuing to like strengthen and solidify itself. But like, I identify as love. I identify as beauty. And if I recognize I am that, the world will bring it to me, and like the world will reflect it right back. And I don't identify as he or she. I identify as love. Thanks. Whew.
I listened to this podcast this week with the guy who was talking about the concept of eros, which is, it's kind of like, it's like cosmic love. It's like the love beneath the love, it's, what he was talking about a lot was intimacy, and like we've all lost intimacy with each other, intimacy with ourselves. And when we can find that like eros love frequency in the intimacy, there's like, I don't know, there's a whole nother level of love, of eros, that you can unlock. Eros was the Greek god of love, I think. Pretty sure.
And Eros and Marvel, are we not going to go there? Is fucking
right,
Harry Styles. Doesn't everything come back to Harry Styles? Is that?
And Eros Marvel, and Cupid apparently are the same.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. But that was just, it was an old Aubrey Marcus episode.
It was the
with
Dr. Mark Gaffney
Dr. Mark
one, right?
Gaffney
Like,
one. Yep, that's it. It was
fucking
really,
changed
really
my
good.
life, that episode.
Mhm.
Because like there's so many layers and like there's this male conversation, but I love the one thing that Dr. Mark kept saying, and he's like, and now we begin the conversation. So like there was this lovely like resetting to me of like, and here we go, and here we go. So Ashleen, if you can put up a link to that, because it really that
Can I just add one thing? It's the intimacy with yourself, but it's also the intimacy with the universe. And like there's like a sexual relationship between you and the fucking cosmos. So it was like really, really personal and also really, really transpersonal at the same time, and how it's all the same. It's really
And how good Noosa is that? Like how second Shenka is that? When we last week we were or whatever 2 weeks ago we were talking about duality and polarity and how we have these two opposing forces, but the eros is the attraction between them. It's the attraction between the magnetic and the electric, and it's a very powerful kind of thing. But yes, I will definitely post that link.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that podcast was so rich for me that I still it's really changed like worldview for me. Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to share? Well, we'll just go there. I want to talk about dreams, because I know that I have not been very good about like doing a proper dreaming practice at night, and yet I wrote to you guys yesterday of like, well, look at your dreams and see if there's any bye Angelina, look at your dreams and see if there are any themes that are coming up. And so again, like I tell you guys to do shit and then I don't always do it myself. So this time like I did. And I went through and I recognized the themes literally over the last 2 weeks that are going on in dreams. So I want to hear from you guys before I just share, but anything common coming up through the dreams, through that portal? One of my very big intentions, it might be a dream school intention. I don't know when I said it, is what Ashleen, really?
I think I smoke too much weed to remember my dreams, and it's totally fine. Like I think I haven't very, very rarely ever remembered my dreams in my life, and when I do, it's because it was like a really intense dream that I needed to remember. So I'm not worried about it.
I smoke a fuck ton of weed, and I still like. Yeah, somehow the practice of me having a notebook next to my bed, and as soon as I wake up, like somehow that. Max, I can tell you I had a dream about Ben last night. Not your Ben, but my, well, he's not my Ben either. But Ben was in my dream last night, and I was like, huh, but he was healthy, and he was good, and he was clean. And I'm like, still no. No.
I had a similar dream last night too, Brandon. It was just a snippet, and Ashley and I'm really not remembering my dreams either. But past lovers have been washing through and coming up in blips. I have also been having like extreme swings in temperature, like waking up and then immediately I'm flooded with heat. I get up, I go to the bathroom, I come back, I lay down, and then I'm frozen. So that's been super fun the last 2 weeks. But yeah, like things are being sent through the waters to be cleaned.
That's
right
so
now.
good. Yep.
It's like cosmic laundry.
Yep. Well, and especially in that Ganusa too, like clearing out the lovers, right? Like letting the dreams just come and like wash them through. Because we ain't got enough space for any like.
That's what that is.
Say that again, Michael. I'm sorry, I was talking over you.
That's what that is. That's been coming up for me too. I just noticed. Someone just brought up one of my exes at lunch.
Keep washing it through. Thank you so much.
And Benjamin was my previous life. I was a Benjamin. So, and Andy, we did a regression meditation, and I think I'm on the rock that I went to in that meditation where I called in that ancestor. So
where are you at?
Thank you.
What part of Central Park are you in? There's one rock that I have a very close relationship there.
I mean, I'm very close to the edge, like over here. Just I'm on a,
but like what
just on a
street?
big rock.
That's the only way that I would know anything. I was like at 86th in Amsterdam.
Oh no! I'm at the south end. I'm at 60th.
The Magdalens were Benjaminites, just so you know.
What? I don't know what a Benjaminite. What? Huh? What? Sarah, don't.
The tribes of Israel, the 12 tribes. We're gonna have to get into some of this another time, but yeah, they were Benjaminites. And have you seen the cube, Michael? Like my birthday cube?
The Castello cube, the gold cube that's there in Central Park?
Yeah.
No, but thank you for reminding me, because I was like, I kept thinking there's something I had to go visit while I was here.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will go check that out.
They just put one maybe in Venice as well last week. So now there's 2 of them. Or I don't know if there's 2. That would be interesting if it duplicated while we were in this container.
I did want to say, back to the Nessenes,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't necessarily been diving really deeply in that, but I know you pinged me on that the other day, so it's been floating. What's coming online for me, or what's starting to, I think, what I'm starting to feel is just how is the real story, the truth, right? That's what's coming in through the Ganusa now. So it's like, it's almost like the waters are like seeped down. They feel so much deeper. And it's like finding those foundations, those roots. I also had an Atlantean guide turn on right before we started working. So he's been really present with me too. So that's been really lovely. But then also with Ashleen saying like the weed thing, I'm not really remembering my dreams. I have the journal there. My sleeping hasn't been bad, but I've been waking up. I don't use an alarm anymore, but I don't know. Things are changing, my rewiring. But I have been waking up like under psychic surgery almost every single, like they're tinkering with me. Like I wake up and I'm like energetically open. I don't know. It's hard to describe. And I haven't been good about writing it down. So
they tell me when I can go back to my body.
Say that again.
They tell me when I can go back to my body.
Oh, yes. So that's so funny. Yeah. Yes, it's like I've had 2 mornings that I was like, I woke up and they were like, just go back to sleep. It's like it was almost like the waters were rocking, and they're like, the waters aren't calm yet. And so I did, and every time I woke up, they were a little calmer until finally I was at peace, and they were like, okay, now you can get up. Wow. And that's happened more like two days. I'm here for it.
And if anyone is having dreams where like, so I'll just say like, let me see if I can do this the right way. I don't want to do it in an alarming way, but sometimes we'll have dreams that are against our will. Or you will wake up and realize, like, I do not consent, I do not consent, I do not fucking consent. I've had one of those since we've been in this container of dream school, where all of a sudden, like, they were putting me into surgery, and I'm like, no. I say no on this and every fucking dimension because I'm awake. I am not asleep. I say no, all aspects of me. So know that is a very powerful... rather than lucid dreaming, which sometimes you can be in charge of. Sometimes there are things that are going on in your dream where you're like, we're not doing this. That's a very good act of sovereignty and superpower to come online with.
I will say, I think I've been a participant in the healing.
Yeah, no, I don't. I thank you. I don't.
Yeah, no. As you're saying that, it's just coming to me. Or possibly one of my past lives or guides. Like I'm looking at the table as well as feeling it, if that makes in the way of dreams.
Yeah.
They allow me to perform surgery on someone else. So it's almost like we're being trained as cosmic surgeons. And Andy, I have had like the occasions pop up where it's like, no, I didn't ask for this procedure. Yeah.
You can fuck off in this all dimensions is how.
But the no is part of Ganusa activation because Ganusa is directly linked to throat. Those 2 chakras are mirrors of one another. So we have to anchor no.
Okay.
We have to anchor no so that we can flow into yes.
Got it. And Wendy, I know you popped your head on, so I want to make sure that we're covering whatever you need. But yeah, the surgery, like now that you guys say it, I'm like, oh yeah, surgery. What I will say instead of surgery, because surgery to me is it feels scary. Light body technician is the word that I've used in here at times where I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I will do psychic surgery, but I'm working on an energy field rather than on a physical body. I can fucking fix everything in the field way before it ever hits a body. Why does it need to get into matter? I'm going to do it out here. So as shaman, that's how I have participated of like, going to clean this out here so it never has to come into the density in order to exist.
Because once a thought is made manifest, then that becomes your creation, right? So we have to start with the clean water so that as we're dropping those seeds in to be fertilized and to create, that it's coming from that place. And absolutely the sacred rage, Ashleen, like I think a lot of what is rising up from relationship or loss, whatever that looks like for so many of us that has occurred so attached to the womb, it's the time for us to stand up and know.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and this is what Ashleen posted as well, and it was off of Destiny's post, which is hospitals and surgery and doctors and birth and procedures that are not good for our bodies in places where we feel powerless, places where we feel outside of our own authority, and there's other authorities who are trying to insert. So yeah, I have a fear of surgery. I have only given birth. That's as close to an actual surgery that I've done. But Wendy, you finally popped your head back on. How you doing over there, girl?
Better. I'm feeling lighter now. I had to go and hide away for a little bit and disappear. Realizing now what Sarah said about throat being connected, I'm like, oh, that's why my throat is killing me. But on that kind of thing of being able to say no, one thing I have noticed is I've set a lot of boundaries this last week. Boundaries are coming on in a really big way, which is interesting. In terms of dreaming, I find I wake up in the night and I will have had really vivid dreams, but I cannot get myself awake enough to write it down. Or I think, oh, I don't want to disturb Barry next time. I don't want to wake him up because I'm there scribbling in my journal. And then by the time I wake up again, I've forgotten it. But I had, funny enough, right at the beginning of Dreaming School, I had a dream you were in it and Barry was in it and you were there reassuring him. Don't
be
worry.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like, Wendy will be fine. It's like, everything will be fine. You're safe. Like,
Hilarious.
And it's funny actually, I've kind of felt that energy from him recently, that he feels a bit safer in himself from that. And he's come to me with things like he apologized to me the other day for calling me crazy once. And
Wow.
this is when all of my like kind of reawakening happened, and he was kind of like, what the fuck is going, like, who are you right now? And he's like, I need to apologize for that, because actually that's not what I meant. I just didn't really understand. And he was like, and actually, I respect that. I love that about you, that you're a bit different, and crazy is a good thing. So that was a huge acknowledgement. Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of full acceptance, which was cool. There's another really cool experience I want to share. Actually, I'd completely forgotten about it until I looked back at my notes the other day, and I was like, oh my god, how did I forget this? And I was like, thank god I noted this one down. So it was going into Dream Temple, and grab my notes out as well so I don't forget anything. And Nadia was there, and it linked back to, I think it was Gwen said about how it's coming through that dreams aren't big enough. Like, nope, come up with a new one, because what you're trying to bring in isn't big enough. And I had that same experience with Nadia and my higher self, literally in Dream Temple, going, nope, not big enough. And then I also kind of had an opportunity to let some things go, and I can't remember now what it was that I let go, but this is when we were still en route, and the snakes kind of the snakes emerged, but they weren't snakes. They turned into dragons, and it was 2 dragons, and they were extensions of my pillars. So there's snakes coming up with the pillars, but then they were dragons, and it was literally like, well, burn away whatever you want, and they were literally like breathing fire, and I just chucked stuff into the fire. That was really cool.
In our lineage, some of you have done this, but most of you have not. The dragons and the snakes are what creates reality in that web of reality of existence. So the dragons, the snakes, all the same. Yeah. I want to give just one other dreaming tip while we're talking about it, which is sometimes we'll be yanked out of a dream. And when you wake up, what I'll say is like, where was I and what was I doing? Like, why the fuck don't you want me to remember this? If there's like an abrupt wake up to things. Because that also feels like I want authority over it. So you can ask that, like, where was I when you first wake up? And sometimes it'll start coming back that way.
Can I just share something else on that?
Yeah.
So I've just read this extra bit, and I was like, oh no, that's too good. So it was like sending this limiting belief down, and chanting easy death. The Kundalini movement happened. That's when the dragons came out, but they weren't, so the serpents, but they weren't serpents, they were dragons breathing the fire. And that was through oust. And then Nadia said in that moment, that's how you become sovereign, when you can burn and destroy your own shit and kind of limiting beliefs and don't need to rely on other entities or anything else to do it. That's sovereignty.
Thank you, Nadia. I saw 3 vultures 2 days ago, and that felt very it was a hard day. It was a low day, not a high day. And as soon as I saw those 3 vultures, I know I messaged a couple of you. I'm like, oh my fuck. Oh, like this is I've only seen vultures here around me once. Thank you. I've only seen vultures real in my life now twice.
Isn't that moot? Vultures? Yeah.
That is moot. Vulture winks. Come on, Sarah. Okay, yeah. She's moot's been coming in ways that I didn't know it was her, which was, I shared that picture with you guys where I was like, what? So one of my intentions is like, show me what's beyond the fall, right? We know that we're in the fall of things. Things are hard. Like, what's the new world look like? And what does that look like? I just keep asking for like glimpses. And so I've been getting those in dreams, is what I wanted to say. In one of the dreams, there were these huge crystals that were like popping up on the campus that I was on. I was on a college campus, and the crystals like were as big as my forearm, and they would just appear overnight. And then there was another one that was blue and teal and purple fluorite that was the size of my torso. And so like each morning I would wake up and I'm like, are there any crystals outside? And so that was that part of the dream. The other dream that's new things appearing, and it was with Robin, and we talked about it in the podcast that we just recorded. But like she and I were on the ocean. I have a lot of ocean dreams. Typically, I have a lot of dreams about travel. That's been a big part of my theme. Oh, and then that big one. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. In that dream, we were looking out into a sunset, sunrise. I think it's a sunrise only because that's so Kephara energy. And so I'm going to just like claim that as a sunrise. Thank you. Looking out, all of a sudden I started seeing shapes, and those shapes would turn into like buildings. And the buildings looked like they are in this Starseed Oracle deck, if anybody's seen it, where you're just like, oh, like it's kind of ancient. And then there were beings moving in it. And I like very clearly in the dream, and I'm like, oh, we're peering into another world so that we can bring it back here. So in my mind, that's a big part of what we're weaving here in Dream School. We're glimpsing into other worlds so we can bring it back here. We'll glimpse into past lives so we can bring it back here. We'll glimpse into future lives so that we can bring it back here. The other piece, and I'm sorry that Marilyn isn't here to talk about it, There was a huge timeline shift this last week, a glitch in time. Marilyn can share her experience, but in mine dream that I had, it was with BZ, which is funny. And in the dream, like 10 days had passed. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, it was just right here. And they're like, no, 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 just time, like, the timeline just shifted. And I had lost 10 days in the dream. And I remember seeing a picture of my daughter during that time that I was gone. I was having surgery. Fuck, in that dream, it was surgery that I was having. Dental surgery. And I called BZ afterwards. I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, 4 people called me telling me they had nightmares about me tonight. What the world is going on with that one? Don't mean to overshare, excuse me. But yeah, it was a surgery dream. But it had been like, it was a time gap. So watch for the time glitches, because that's happening as well. And those of us who are on an awakening path versus the people who are still believing that Biden is a thing. Sorry, that's my running joke. I just don't understand that one at all.
We're done with Brandon.
Done with Brandon. Thank you. I'm also not a Trump supporter, so let me just say that. Like, I don't believe in any of it. It just feels like such a charade of whatever is like, this is what reality is. And I'm like, wow, is it? Feels very other to me. So yeah, there's so this bifurcation, trifurcation thing. There's different timelines and there's different like realities that are happening now. So watch for the time.
Yeah, and the timelines go through the Ganusa, don't they?
Oh, hold on.
Because I was thinking, when you guys were talking about abortion earlier, I was thinking about how it's not always physical children that there are these timelines, different choices I could have made, even if it's like a different path or something, and that they kind of go through there. That's what was coming to me earlier when you guys were talking, that there's almost this, yeah, you can kind of access them through that void, right? Oh, sorry, just throwing that out there for pinging.
Yeah, I'm belching the whole, my response is to belch a lot. So clearly I'm going to clear some timelines through this body. Thanks.
I wish Lynn and Marilyn were here to talk about that sovereignty piece, with the, because of that, that's our timelines are running through the water, which is why our sovereignty is such an issue.
So good. Well, what we create. And can I just say, Sarah, like when you dropped in like creation in this Ganusa, I'm like, I did not even think about creation. I've just been destroying and dissolving everything over here. Creating too? Okay.
Right. And that's, when we have a miscarriage of creation, something that we have poured our heart into, like a business concept or a friendship or even like children, real children. I mean, anything that you're creating is coming from that place in your body, which is why we house so much grief in that water.
The Dream School member who has left us also broke up with me as a friend. So when you say that, then I'm like, that's what that is. Like, it's the... Yeah.
It's a miscarriage. And sometimes miscarriage is medically necessary.
Yep.
I did pull Lineage of the Rose, though.
Of course. Wait, there's that card in the deck?
Oh, this is the Rose one, but it's by her.
I don't know the Rose one. Okay.
Yeah. Here for this. Soul call. Gather. Moved by the goddess.
Yep. Thank you, Sarah. Would you also post what that deck is? Because I don't know it. I did not know there was a Rose deck. Michael, I don't know how long... Yeah, I know. It's New York. There's all kinds of things going on. But Andre Talley Leon's service was yesterday. He was the assistant editor-in-chief at Vogue and like this huge, larger than life. So I was reading this morning his memorial service that was there in New York City, and just like the flowers that were there, and they're like the flowers were almost taller than the church itself, like could hardly even fit these things in. So I was like, you should go and see the flowers if you can. But you're in a big city, there's tons to fucking
Well,
probably.
I walked by St. Patrick's earlier, and they had like this giant garland around the door that was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And there's like there's a couple pop-up arts where they've covered over benches with these really colorful motifs with like really bright flowers and planters and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of life here. It feels really different than when I was here in
I feel that.
February.
I'll give my final dream piece because this one was so fucking good. In the dream, Joe Rogan on the beach, but he was part of our community because why not, right? But the literal thing that they said was we were investing in crypto together so that we could travel together as a group. Ethereum specifically was what came up in the dream. And they're like, so in the dream, the community who wants to travel together and be together investing in crypto so that we could do this. Ding dong. And if anybody wants crypto, like it's going to just keep dropping for a little bit. Like grab some while it's low. It'll go back up. I ain't got nothing else. We've almost gone for 2 hours, so that's about right. Good, good.
Can I thank you for the Akashic Activation YouTube you posted this week? I needed a fountain. So yeah, after that, everything's kind of been falling into place. I needed the moving water so I could have the still water.
Good. I have no idea what I posted when you say that. I'm like, what?
Sure. Okay. It was right on time. And then however you start it with, don't do this while you're driving. And I'm always driving. So, but I finally got to do it and it's been great since. So
good. You're welcome. I didn't do it. Did I do that?
You did it for me and I appreciate it.
Sure thing. No problem. Happy I could deliver just what you needed and wanted. Everything you desire. Yeah, you guys get to rest. I usually spend my Sunday after this getting ready for next week. So may the 4th be with us as we go into the will. And this coming into will, I also think is fucking, like the timing of this, you guys, is so good because like while the rest of the world is kind of doing this thing and it's kind of unraveling for us, we're like, wait. We'll move into that spark of you next time that feels destiny. Happy birthday. For me, learning the will in the last dream school was a life changer for me. So we will see what keeps getting to appear for us. So be intentional with whatever ceremony you're doing over this these next couple of days because the energies are ripe. Don't dream too small. Don't try too hard. You'll find it exactly right. Okay, I love you, honeys. See you soon.